Share screen. And see if we can move this up a little bit. Nope. Move you over here. All right. Kim is monitoring today, so we're going to do her first so she can get back to the throngs of people coming in.
Yes. That's great.
Okay.
This was at Equine Voices, the field trip that was actually last month, almost 4 weeks ago. This is a 5-year-old Mustang. Actually, this youngster was, the mother was in a group of Mustangs that were rescued in California, and so this youngster was born at the rescue. And then I took it into Topaz and put a texture filter on it to try to tone down all the stuff that was behind her.
Yeah, it seemed to work nicely. Wonder if that tail.
Just get rid of it, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking of that. It's a good thing it's not a little higher, we'd be wondering. Anyway. Yeah, I think that works out nice. Okay.
And this is Gulliver. This is their mascot.
Gulliver.
He is a huge horse, 17 hands high.
Wow.
Look to see what that was. Very friendly. I mean, big, and again, I took it into Topaz and put a texture on it because behind him was the corral and all sorts of stuff. But I found the texture of the colors just really worked with the colors of the horse.
Yeah, the lighting too.
Yeah, and then took it also into Photoshop and did a little dodging and burning of the eye and nose a little bit, bring the eye out just a little bit more.
Yeah, it's a little washed out still on the screen, but
The Mustangs, yes, the Mustangs are still really skittish, even with the people that volunteer out there. The other horses that are there, they're either Premarin mares, and you know what that? Premarin, of course, Premarin is a hormone women use during menopause. The Premarin and what it stands for, which I didn't know this till being out there, pregnant mare urine. They keep the mares pregnant.
right.
To get their urine to create Premarin. So these are, some of the mares that are out there are rescues because they were Premarin mares. The other horses and donkeys that are out there are other rescues that have been abused, abandoned, whatever. It's an interesting place. And the money it costs to operate is, I forget what, I don't remember the numbers now, but the cost of hay and most of the horses and donkeys that are out there are older and they're on medication, and it's an expensive endeavor. So they're always looking for people to donate, or you can actually adopt a horse.
Wow.
But
Interesting.
it's just, I forget, they've got 20 some equines out there, I believe.
Wow.
It's out in Amato. You don't, not quite to Amato. It's out like Elephant Head Road, and then back a ways.
Beautiful portrait.
Nice portrait, yeah. Looks like he's smiling. Happier than were, but it's a she, right? Yeah.
No, Gulliver's.
Oh, Gulliver, right?
Gulliver's-
Yeah,
Gulliver's-
that's a,
No.
yeah.
You said 17 hands.
He's
I
17
know he's
hands.
big. I've seen him. I just
Yeah.
couldn't remember. There is a Clydesdale out there.
Oh, they had a Clydesdale too?
No, I didn't.
I don't know if Gulliver is or not.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
kind of looks like he's got that furry hoof.
Yeah.
Right.
It's got that kind of flattened out nose a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah,
too.
they didn't say whether he was. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Then we go to flowers. This is California poppy. Actually, the stem doesn't look too bad from here. That right right there, I can't get that any lighter. I tried with the mask,
this
Lightroom, yeah, I tried dodging and burning it in Photoshop. I lightened it up just a touch, but from a distance, it doesn't look so bad as it does up close on a computer.
Yeah, I don't know, there's a number of ways you can attack this, I get it on my, yeah, there we go, okay.
Otherwise, the background and everything, I did not do a whole lot of adjusting to the
Mhm.
picture. All the softness is right out of the camera. There's no filter or anything. I didn't take it through any other programs.
Nice. Well, it looks like you got a lot of real heavy darks anyway,
Yeah,
so your eyes are kind of popping around that, so maybe what we should try first is to just go into camera raw and adjust the blacks. There's a couple different ways to do that. Let's have a look. So go to filter camera raw. And
because I did play with the blacks and shadows in
Yeah.
Lightroom,
yeah,
watching my histogram, but it.
now if we do an overall, everything's gonna get lighter and
Right.
darker, right? So
Right.
we don't want to do that. We're gonna go into a localized mask, and probably the best way to do it would be to do a range and do a luminance range. And then grab the blackest black you can find. See how those are all turning red. Now you got two adjustments here in your, that limit it, you know, you can bring it down, harden it up, or if you bring this down, it covers what the range is, so that looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit up in here, but we'll see how that works. And then after you got that done, you can mess around with all kinds of things. So we can try opening up shadow detail, maybe a little bit, or just bring the black up a little bit. Now, the other thing you can do is see if it's getting too out of hand in areas that you don't want, like out here. That's when you go back to this and adjust it down, so it doesn't affect that so much. Or affects it more. You know, just get it to your liking. And then also, well, let's open this up a little bit, and then maybe we can spread this out a little bit, see what happens. See, if you spread it out, it's gonna cover more, so
Yeah,
you wanna go the other way. But you don't want a hard edge, you're going to kind of blend, so. See, that's getting a little hard. It's almost looking like this area in the middle is not getting taken care of. There's another thing we can try too. Let's turn this one off for a minute. And add another one. And we're gonna do basically the same thing, but we're gonna actually intersect it with well, you know what? I have another idea. Forget that one. Forget that one. We can work with the same one we already had. All right, we're gonna, yeah, yeah, we're gonna intersect this with a brush. And maybe we'll just paint this area here. And we'll make it just a little bigger. See what that does. See if that makes any difference. Nope, it looks like a subtracted the whole thing, so let's get rid of that. Okay. Looks like it's not working at all now. Great. Give me a second. Let's get rid of this. Oh, I see. It just went to brush. I think I deleted the wrong mask. Okay, let's try this again. All right, so create a mask. We're gonna go for luminance, pick this area, okay. All right, that looks pretty good. So we can try a couple things. We can add a little black, and also, I don't know if you guys ever work with curves, but I usually like to anchor the mid-range and the quarter. What happens on this scale is up here is your whitest white and here's your blackest black. Here's your mid-tones, quarter tones, and that's your 3/4 tones. But we don't. So we're gonna take the darkest dark and we're just gonna bring that up a little bit. I think that looks a little better. So there's your before and after. Yeah, it's
Just a little better, yeah.
it's a little hollowed out, but I think overall it works out pretty nice. You're still almost clipped it in the shadow, so I suppose it could come up just a hair. Yeah, something like that.
Can I see before and after again?
Yeah, before and after. Okay. Alrighty. Let's move on to the next one there.
And didn't really apply a filter to this one either, the colors. Were just, I just brought up the contrast and everything a bit, but those were the colors. I kept it, I have cropped it in, but I wanted it framed with the colors on both sides of the poppies, the pink on the right and the other poppies on the left. And then I just was very happy that I actually got a bee in flight in focus.
Yeah. Yeah, you can probably sharpen them up a little bit. I think you have the same symptom I do. You get attached to something, you want to keep it in there. I'm almost thinking,
Cut it out.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think it would.
yeah, I
Right,
guess now
so-
we do it that way, yeah.
Bring the bee closer.
Bring the bee closer.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're,
Nice.
yeah,
Good cut.
Yeah.
Bring it up.
Yeah, and then again, you could sharpen him up a little bit by grabbing this local. Let's see, if we select subject, I'm guessing it's gonna select a rail. So let's just grab a brush. We're gonna auto mask. And we're just gonna go over the B. Okay. And then I would go down. They move things around here, when you. Maybe just make them a little brighter, but I would, use texture. That would sharpen them up a bit. Let's just get in there a little, take a look. So you can get overboard with this stuff, but maybe a little bit there, and you can try clarity. That might help because it gives it kind of an apparent contrast, which makes it look a little sharper. Do that. And then you've got sharpening down here too. So it may help a little bit. Yeah. There you
Would you
Okay.
Okay.
saturate the bee anymore like you do sometimes like an owl's eyes?
Yeah, you could. You don't want to get
Cause he's.
too crazy, but yeah, something like that.
yeah. Oh,
Kim, are you a cell phone shooter or traditional?
this is traditional.
Traditional.
I shoot with my cell phone a little bit, but I've had traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah,
DSLR.
so like, that'll give you an idea of full frame.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll help out. Okay. So this and go on to the next one here.
This one's a topaz. One with the detail and contrast a little bit, and then this is a Van Gogh filter on it. Cause as I was taking the pictures, I was envisioning one of the artistic filters to put on it. And it's just kind of how I was looking at it from the get-go. So it's just a matter of which filter which preset I liked the best for it.
Yeah. What do you think about your highlights? Was there anything in there? Did you try pulling your highlights down? when
I
you were in?
did, there really wasn't much there.
Okay.
Yeah, cause they're so small, the flowers are so
Yeah,
small.
it's another trick. I don't know if it'll work. If it's pure white, it won't grab it, but if you go into the color picker that's at point color, I don't know if you ever played with that much. But yeah, let's see if that'll work. So basically, I don't know where they put it on this version. Oh, it's right. Yeah, it's probably on the color mixer here. Yeah, so point color, and we can grab this and yeah, there's probably enough there. Yeah, so what you can do is try taking the luminance down just a little bit and counterbalance with the saturation, so it just doesn't look so white.
Mhm.
You can play with it that way.
Yeah.
And then, you can move this range back and forth and see how it works for you. Maybe somewhere in there.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that helps it out.
Right.
So give that a try. And you can pick more than one. All you have to do is go back to the dropper, like if you had other colors. Just hit the picker again. You can pick up to 6 of them and work on them separately, and you can go back and rebalance them.
Wow.
Yeah, so, they don't really explain that very well, but. So like if I wanted to pick, say this green here. They can get the green. But, like, then you can,
Yeah.
so you can play around with it, saturate, desaturate, make it darker, lighter. And then you can go ahead and, pick something else, but, so you can do this all day long. So maybe I want to make this lighter, darker. Yeah, so it's kind of like selective masking except with color. It's pretty nice.
Thanks, Sandy.
Sure. Okay, I think that's it,
That's
right?
it.
Yeah, okay,
That's it.
good enough. Okay. Well, I guess Paul is on the bottom here. Let's do you, and then we'll just go to the top of the list and keep going.
Where are you been?
What were you drinking?
Wow, wow. Wow, Paul.
It's taken from 2 stock photos and then some AI.
Uh,
And the hand car I had in, I could not get it aligned with the prop, so I said, the hell with it.
It's up in the air.
That's really fun.
It was just like a wall back there with the sky, and I said, I like the colors and everything, and I said, you gotta do something different.
Yeah, you did. That's great.
Now, how did you get the upside down person with the hand card? What,
That was a little tape.
a rotate?
So did you photograph the person, or did you just find stock that worked?
Person and the photos are AI.
Oh, okay.
Everything else is stock.
Mhm. Okay,
That's really.
so is he standing like this?
He was doing a headstand when he grabbed it.
Oh,
And then
okay.
I rotated it.
Mhm.
It's kind
Oh, so most of your work was done for you. You didn't have to plan it and shoot it and match it or anything else. That's great. So that's another avenue.
When you say AI, do you still position everything?
Yeah, I still position it.
You position it.
So what did the AI produce?
The AI produced the UFOs and I haven't seen them in the photograph. The AI produced the guy from action.
Oh, okay.
And what
Did
about
you
the
ask it to
main,
produce a UFO?
Hmm?
Did you ask it to produce a UFO?
Yes, I had to go through quite a few to get what I wanted. But I
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
did you-
basically, all three of those are the same, I just adjusted.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was my next question.
is the main scene your photograph? The
No,
railroad track?
that's a stock photo,
Wow, okay.
So none of that is your original work.
none of that is mine.
Yeah, so this is stock in AI
Yeah.
and compositing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's your creativity. So
that's right.
Yeah.
That's really fun.
It's a lot of fun. Well, let's do some more of those. I like to see them. Okay,
Mhm.
Wow,
The hoop is caught, the hawks are back, so I just decided to see what I can come up with.
interesting colors, sunset time or?
I think it was early in the morning, just as the sun was coming up.
yeah,
And the
light-
background I
lights-
took out completely because it was just a lot of wind
Yeah.
and brush and stuff, so.
well, you did a nice job
That's a
masking.
good one.
Yeah, that works out nice.
What's it rendered in? Watercolor,
I did a little bit of the,
Yeah, in
color
here.
painting,
oil paint?
Mhm.
just enough to
Yeah,
get the brand.
yeah. I'm just wondering, this is so snappy here. I wonder if maybe you ought to boost some of the apparent contrast of the bird itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might help.
Yeah.
Okay,
This was a water fountain. I didn't like the colors that it had in it, so I changed it to black and white.
Mhm.
I mainly like the textures and then the water fountain and stuff, so.
depth of field's nice too. Okay, it's our resident Canoe Ranch,
Yeah.
a different one.
Actually,
Yeah,
Well,
you can never tell because they all look like they're all twins. Yeah, nice. Well, I like textures in the water,
Yeah.
the way it pulls into
That
it.
and the color.
Yeah, yeah,
Colors of the water.
yeah, very nice. Okay,
This was at the zoo and, Animal Kingdom. He was just sitting there looking around.
is that a monitor lizard?
That's a Komodo.
It is a Komodo.
Mhm.
He's a little guy then. Yeah. We actually went to Komodo and they were pretty big. Yeah, nice.
He may show up in the composites.
Oh, there you go.
Wait.
The Komodo that ate Tucson. There we go. Well, great.
Snapping at the UFO.
Yeah, go ahead and beat me up. Right. Yeah, there you go. All right.
We want dinner.
Yeah,
No,
all right.
no.
Who's that handsome devil?
That's totally eating all that stuff.
This is the HDR version.
Oh, good.
That's awesome.
Throw you in there.
Do we have reflectors or anything, or that was just available light?
I think that was, sure. We took so many.
That's true, yeah.
But that is an HDR version.
Mhm.
There's 3 images.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's just HDR, because I'm not seeing any. There's a little, maybe. The eyes always tell you. Yeah, I think,
Oh, a little bit of a reflection to the left.
yeah, I think that's the wall behind us or the sky, you can see yourself here. But I don't see any lights or cards in there, so. Yeah, good.
I've never tried that before.
Yeah.
Was this the studio class with
Yeah.
flash balance?
Right,
You guys had?
yeah, I didn't see you there.
Oh.
Missed you. Well, we didn't record that one either because it was outside. Well, if you ever want to do it, let me know. Wow.
No, thanks. So this was the other night there, when was it, Monday night?
Really?
So
About what time?
about 2:30 in the morning.
Ah, okay.
Where'd you go? Where were you?
So it's just off La Cañada
Uh-huh.
and south of, Southerton.
Oh, okay.
So it's just off the road. We're looking for cigarillos for foreground,
Right.
and this one was kind of right there, so we didn't have to go tramping through the jungle to.
Yeah.
Is that Serena in the background now, or
That
the
is,
light that's
yeah.
Serena? Okay.
What's your exposure time?
I think that was about 10 seconds,
Wow.
Mhm.
not very long.
Yeah.
So there's a building back, so it's a main road right behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side of the road was a building, and that's what you're getting the light, so
So you're getting all this,
all this light was coming.
yeah, it
from
looks
that
like
side.
sodium vapor or something, because it's very
It's
warm.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
you're just off La Cañada then, you weren't at Sarita Road yet, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There he is again.
Real close, you'll see you've got some, a lot of times over
He's got a minnow
there.
or a big one.
Actually, I had that minnow right in the front of his beak and he flipped it up.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I've seen them do it. It's amazing. They'll like have it right at the edge and then go like that and catch it. Yeah. Pretty outstanding. Nice. Well, you got some nice reflections going on here too.
Yeah.
I love when they're,
That was at 4,000 for a second.
uh,
Oh, wow.
yeah. But I love when their feathers get this way.
Breeding plumage.
What's that?
Breeding plumage.
Ah, okay.
Was it?
Yeah, and he's probably wet too.
I met
right?
somebody down there and they said there was white pelicans coming to that pond.
Yeah, I thought I saw one last year. Yeah, yeah. Neat.
Oh, I like that.
Pretty.
This is just out in the desert behind the pond, so
Mhm.
dramatic difference in color.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
Nice.
No filters or anything. Just.
Doggone.
That's nice.
Doggone it, she said, doggone it, how did you do that?
It's hard to get pictures of those.
I know, they're fast and they rarely look at you. Yeah, nice, nice one.
I've been shooting around 4,000, so it's,
Uh-huh.
You bribed him.
Stay
Stay
still.
still. for
I'll
just
give you a worm.
30 seconds, stay still.
you hang a worm off their hat.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, good.
Watching you.
Thanks.
Good job.
Well, let's see what Albert got here. Where's this at?
That is somewhere in Wyoming, early spring, that's, I was on my way to Oregon. And, from Nebraska,
Mhm.
and that was back in the year, I was still in my VW van.
Ah, good times, good times. I wonder if maybe, I don't know, what do you guys think about
Dropping it down.
getting rid of some of the sky there? So too. I guess you could go panorama or you could bring it up a little bit, your choice. Yeah, I think that hones in a little more. It's very pastel-y, it's nice. Is that early morning or?
Early morning.
Yeah, yeah. Nice,
I like that lone cloud on the left.
yeah, yeah.
Granny's got familiar.
That's from a slide ski.
So this is all from film?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
actually a slide, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is another slide ski.
Mhm.
This is Lone Pine, California. It's on the east side of Sequoia National Park.
Oh, okay,
And,
Yeah.
It's a small town in the desert there. But this is And I can't really tell if Mount Whitney is back there somewhere or not, but this is the direction shooting towards
Okay.
Mount Whitney here.
Yeah.
So.
You guys have any suggestions? Plus something, bring the sky down again? What else?
Then you had it, so you bring it into the road more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about maybe gradiating the road, make it darker in
Yeah.
the foreground? All right, let's,
Yeah, I was thinking.
yeah, let's play around a little bit here and see what happens. All right, so,
Yeah, because the road is pretty wide.
yeah, so a couple of things here. I would just try a linear gradient first and just kind of come up this way. Well, I don't see it anymore. I don't have the same controls that I have in Lightroom because I did want to move that, but. I'm just not sure where to find, oh wait, did it say show pins? Yeah. There it is, okay. So. Yeah. When you first stretch it out, it gives you how hard it falls off. If you go a lot, it gets real soft. If you do a little, it gets hard. So maybe somewhere like that. And kind of match the way the terrain's going there. And then if you grab this middle, you can move it up to where you want it to fall off. So maybe something like that. Once you have that, you can try a number of things. You can try exposure, maybe a little bit of somewhere in there. Also maybe take the whites down just a little. Then I'd grab this again and maybe figure where you want it a little better. Let's not show the overlay. Then now you can see what it's actually doing. You can see where it's falling off and so on. Now, if you don't want the brush to fall off so much, what you can do is go and subtract with a brush and just take it away from the areas where you don't want. Out here. Okay. There we go. And the neat thing is, once you do that, the brush will stay where it is and you can move the gradient. Just kind of cool. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's turn those pins off again. Yeah, there we go. So you got a little eyeball here to turn it on and off, see how it looks. And then the other thing you might want to do is just using a gradient again. We can go with maybe a radial one and kind of stretch it out this way. Let's show the pins again. All right, so basically, you can move this around, you can rotate it, you can also do that, and then you've got the ability to feather it too, so you can make it real hard or real soft. And you can also invert it. Somewhere there's an invert. Yeah, there it is. Okay. With that icon instead of a checkbox. So once you have that, the clear area is going to stay and the rest of the area is going to kind of come down. So that might help out a little bit. Let's turn this off and take a look.
We made it dramatic.
Yeah, now this is a little dark here, so we'll go back to the other one, this guy. Click on that, maybe just bring it up a little bit. So it's just a matter of balancing to your heart's content so you get where you want it. Okay,
Chopping those mountains too.
yeah, definitely could do that. So I would probably just get a brush, so we'll do a brush here. And just kind of, I get a fairly big one, just kind of go across everything. And if you have auto mask on, it does a pretty good job of finding the edges. Once you have that, you can do a number of things here. You could add texture, it gives it a little more sharpening. Let's get in there so we can see a little better. So you can see that pulls it up a bit. Maybe you might want to give it some clarity, which give it a little more contrast. And sometimes dehaze just a tad. You gotta use that sparingly. Comes in pretty quick, but yeah, I think that might be enough to do what you need. So here's your before, after, yeah. Okay. All right. So let's get this next one here. Hawaii?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
Palm trees?
Yeah, they are. They're not ferns. Yeah,
Mexico.
yeah, yeah, maybe.
I've been to Ireland.
Depends
Depends
on how many pubs you've been in. Yeah, all right, so I would, yeah, yeah. I would try and work on, getting a little more of the highlights back. Let's see, if we bring those down. Yeah, there we go. So highlights and then counterbalance with a little white, brighten it up if it gets too dingy. And maybe a little contrast. Up here, it'll tell you when you're starting to plug up. So when that starts turning red or white or blue, you can also see it's climbing up the side of the histogram here. Yeah, you don't want that. So right about there's enough. The other thing you can do is hold your option key down or alt key on your PC, and then you can kind of see where it's plugging up. So it's somewhere like right there. So right there, and it gives you the color. So that cyan or blue, I guess, is going to be, that color is plugging up, which is probably not enough to worry about if you're printing. And then you can do the same on your white, your highlights. So if you watch this one on the other side, you can take that over until there. See, climbing up the side there, you just take it back down, and that's about it. But then I use your eye and see if it's going too far for you. Doesn't have to go all the way across. Yeah.
So Sandy, you're making these adjustments. Are you looking at the image or are you looking at the
Both.
both?
Both. Yeah, generally I look at the image first and then I'll go over and look at the histogram and see if I'm, if I've blown the highlights out or crushed the shadows. Yeah, that's a good question. Okay.
So question, this little path, is it leading into a cave or
Looks like a cave or a tunnel, huh?
It's like a stone structure.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
it's interesting.
Yeah, well, yeah, you
Oh,
can
there's
see here.
another.
Yeah, there's another area
I
going
didn't
through
see
there.
that at first. It's an arch and then it goes back in.
Yeah.
Under the tree.
Yeah, so this was, it's like a old archaeological site or something. Okay,
In some places, they went straight to.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
now this one, is actually in Athens, Greece.
Mhm.
And, this was just down from our hotel we're staying in, on Block Island. Little interesting store there, that, had all these knickknacks.
So kind of like an FAO Schwartz or,
Kind of,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It was, the title of the on the side there, little coop shop.
Mhm.
It was just a collection of, like things you would, see around Christmas time.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, because you have the bag of presents over there on the left. You
Yeah.
have the drummer figures or whatever and so forth. And there's the
Yeah,
plan.
there's Santa up there, yeah.
So,
Yeah, and then you got the blocks the kids play with and the teddy bears, so, yeah, it's kind of a little bit
so
of.
somebody, I think, was just collecting stuff and then decided, oh, let's put this on our shop and
Mhm.
make it look a little different. So.
Yeah, that's fun.
But we were actually there in March, so it was still rather chilly
Mhm.
and it's surprising. I think it produced me nice Mediterranean climate. Not necessarily, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, it could still be cold. Yeah, you can, bring up the outside so it doesn't keystone so much, but I don't know, it might look nice the way it is because of the drama, so I guess that's your choice. You know, maybe darken this side down a little bit so it doesn't become so prominent. And along here too.
It's like a little bit too.
Yeah, you can crop it and darken it and same up here, you know. Yep.
That's Hawaii.
Ah, okay.
Oh, for sure. Enjoy that.
Looks like Ireland to me.
Yeah, those lush green hills.
March 17th. So we were down at the beach trying to get the sunset photo.
Mhm.
So
Okay. Did you scan these as RAW or JPEG?
this is what it was from the camera. Oh, this was taken with smartphone.
Oh, this is a smartphone, okay. So it's probably a JPEG. I don't know if you have the ability to switch to RAW on Androids or not. Does anybody know?
Actually, my Android is rather old. You have the option of shooting. They don't really call it raw. They call it. It takes a DMG is what it does.
Mhm. Oh, DNG, yeah, so
Yeah.
that's Cyclone, yeah,
And it's basically raw.
yeah, digital negative file format, yeah, good.
So,
So that'll give you, enough,
but yeah, this was JPEG.
Yeah. so if he's shot in DNG, you could probably pull a little more detail in here if you wanted to. Yeah, okay, well, good. Well, welcome.
Well, I do. No.
Thanks for bringing those in. All right. Dave, as you'll see, does some pretty different things,
Different.
more toward the fine art end of our class, which is great.
So this week, I was at the Yumi Japanese Garden last Saturday, and I was actually shooting for Jean's class. The assignment was black and white.
Uh-huh.
And I had been working on a set of photographs for your class, Sandy, but I thought these turned out really interesting. So I wanted to share them here.
Mhm.
What you're looking at is a Japanese tea house. And I shot it in, I think, sepia or color and rendered it in black and white. There's some of the shadows, what do you call it again, Sandy?
Like a
The
vignette?
vignette.
Okay.
So it has a double vignette.
Mhm.
And, Sandy, when I was looking at this, I recall what you said when we were looking at Wendell's pictures of the Yumi Garden, how the Japanese are so intentional.
Mhm.
And they have this beautiful geometry and serenity in their architecture and the tea house designs. But so what I did to enhance that is I flipped it out into a symmetrical flop.
Mhm.
I've been doing that.
I like it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Got a nice balance.
it's balanced, the proportions, and for me, when I look at it, I see a Mondrian painting with squares and proportions and lines.
Mhm.
And so I flip it out and make it's beautifully serene. It's a very nice garden. Everyone should go there.
I'm just wondering. I find this center vignette a little annoying, so I'm thinking maybe if your intention is to flip these, maybe turn that off and do the vignette at the end, so you just have it on the outside.
Oh, yeah.
That might be something to consider if you're thinking
I
you're gonna be
think you might
flipping
be
them.
right there. I
Yeah.
was wondering if you'd say something about that,
Yeah,
anticipating. But I did shoot it in the sepia vignette, so
oh, okay,
I couldn't have taken it out.
yeah.
I knew it was gonna be rendered into black and white, so I'm
Yeah.
shooting sepia.
Well,
Because
you
my
could,
camera doesn't have black.
well,
and
you can
white.
shoot color and just, make it black and white. That's generally what we do. So that might be an option. Then you
Yeah,
have to
no,
go- then you're
well-
not locked into that vignette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of these pictures were shot in color.
Yeah,
We go
and
through it.
the other thing you can do too is, give selective color, you can kind of bring color through in areas if you want. Either pastel or bright, along with the black and white,
Right.
kind of get a feel for it. So it gives you a lot more options. When you're not locked down to it in the camera itself,
Right.
yeah.
To always shoot in color, you're saying. I think
Yeah, or one of your effects, but definitely not with the vignette. Yeah,
Good point.
especially if you're gonna flip it.
So here's a koi pond. And this is a composite of originally 2 images. And I elongated it vertically, kind of like a Japanese screen.
Mhm.
And just by chance, the lily pads connected, but they folded space. And so I was having trouble balancing the top register of the image. So there was some darker lily pads. And so to solve this picture, I just repeated the anomaly
Mhm.
and put the folded lily pad on the
Up on the
top.
top, yeah.
So now I got a origami folded koi pond.
There you go. Well, it almost looks like it's going over the edge, like
Yeah,
a curb or
yeah,
something. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Nice.
I think that one was in color, Sandy, and then rendered to black and white.
Okay.
Okay, back at the tea house, there was a man, this is the same man, but cautiously peering behind the wall. I call this mystery behind the wall.
Okay.
And I've been going through in my mind, of course, that's a Japanese rice paper screen, but that didn't quite sound as good. Mystery behind the Japanese rice paper screen.
Okay.
So, I call it mystery behind the wall. And it's interesting and, use your imagination. It's anything you think that might be behind there, so.
Okay. So later, when you get into post-processing, you'll be able to pull these down a little bit and get a
Yeah,
little
the
more
hours.
detail, but,
Yes,
yeah,
that is
one thing at a
awesome.
time. Yeah, well, you're coming along.
but the shapes of the hat and everything.
Oh, yeah.
is totally cool, how I got the rich darkness and then the light.
No, everything's working. And even the blown out areas are working in this case, because your eyes going back and forth to those subjects.
Okay, so same Japanese tea house, and there was a young couple in there sharing an imaginary cup of tea and having such a wonderful time. They were enjoying young love and they just were really having fun. And I was sitting there and when they came out to put their shoes back on, you have to take your shoes off to go in the tea house.
Of course.
And I was just sitting there and no harm, no foul. I just took a few pictures. And this is composed with 10 shots. And when I decided to put the roof on the top, it changed it. It looked like a miniature toy house. So there's a play on scale here. So. And I'll make one little comment. Earlier I was saying the Japanese have wonderful proportions and symmetry and design work. Well, when I got done shooting this, I got in a little trouble with their proportions, Sandy. I stood up and I started walking away from this scene and there was a low roof line
Oh.
and I didn't see it.
Yeah,
And it hit me like a box,
yeah.
knocked my lights out, I fell on the ground.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it was, I
Yeah.
didn't know what happened, because you know, in photography.
Yeah,
you're
you get
looking
tunnel
forward
vision.
For your next shot, right?
Yeah. Well, it's even worse when you're wearing a cap like Alan's, which I do a lot, you know,
Yeah.
because you don't see things right here. And I'm
Yeah,
constantly in my
I didn't see it, 'cause I'm looking, what am I gonna shoot next? It knocked me on the
Boom,
ground.
yeah. Yeah, this will do it too,
Yeah.
definitely.
And Sandy, one other comment on the tea house, there was another gentleman, who was telling me, I was talking to him, I was sitting on the bench talking, and he was in Japan a long time ago. And Sandy, you've been to a sushi bar in Japan.
Oh, sure.
Sometimes they'll put a quail egg in your hot sake.
Mhm.
Have you ever had that?
Yeah.
A raw quail egg, they pop it in your
Yeah,
hot sake and it pops, you know.
It's even better on uni, you know, you get
Oh,
raw
on uni,
uni
yeah.
and they put
On
raw,
uni.
yeah, it's quite good.
But this guy was telling me he was in Japan and he wanted breakfast with his hot coffee. And he wanted an egg with his hot coffee. So they put it, yes, we got it. They put a raw egg inside his hot.
Yeah,
They
well,
didn't know what he wanted.
they're accustomed, yep. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that'll do it.
And then finally, I was shooting some shadows
Mhm.
of leaves off a tree. And I set out to kind of make an abstract expressionist painting out of it. Many cuts here, many cuts and flips and flops.
Yeah,
And then I rendered it with a graphic drawing sort of filter.
mhm. It almost looks like ironwork, you know?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
cuts.
yeah, nice. Well, keep it up,
Thank
love what
you.
you're doing.
It was really fun.
It's
to
a
go to
little
the-
different in black and white, because you're just getting the shapes and you're not getting the colors influencing like you've done before. It's, yeah. But I think I like the color a lot.
I love the color.
Yeah, what you've been doing with it. Okay, Dave Erickson.
Canyon rains.
Ah,
Park. After a rain, in the morning after a rainstorm. So everything was wet and dark. Little bit of sunlight on the mountains in the background.
what's that?
Oh, I like the nice little purple mountain.
Oh, yeah, yeah, it's really nice the way that get those hues, the lights and darks in there. Yeah, real nice. Yep, I think this one's good to go as is.
Same morning, a little later though.
Nice.
It's the Needles area. And
Beautiful.
I worked on the sky to try to bring out a lot of the highlights and darkening.
Mhm. Yeah,
Clarity and.
this works, yeah, like last time it was a little light and this, yeah, you definitely picked it up. That helps a lot. And there's that subconscious thing going on between the storm and the light, you know, the daylight, you know, the sun. That
Yeah.
stops you to look at it.
You really wonder what they're doing after a while.
Yeah. I think you hit it right on. Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah, this one too, you've got real nice wide.
It's the same shot,
vanishing
but I
point.
just widen the angle.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And then
let's go back. I think I almost like it wider. Yeah, this one's really nice.
Mhm.
Which one you guys like?
Go back,
The pullback? Yeah.
go back there.
Oh, go back. Okay, there we go.
There's more detail here.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think there's more drama here.
Yeah, they're both beautiful.
Yeah, they're both really nice.
just outside the park at my campground, BLM, and I was wandering around the area and saw this old stump. And the clouds just sort of started developing into this mysterious looking thing.
It's like the clouds are emulating what's going on with this, the stressed wood here. It's pretty nice. Yeah,
That's very good.
very good. Well, that's a nice set. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Jim Bowman,
Mhm.
Gold, Michigan.
Old Michigan.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, well, this is, the Northport Jazz Festival every year. And every year I go, and every year, I get a little something different. So this time I tried it, and the Cubist sort of uh, style, I guess you would call it, and just gives you an impression of the jazz players.
Yeah,
Nice.
Super cool.
nice kaleidoscope of colors too.
Yeah, so this is actually the Badger going out, and you guys are familiar with the Badger. The
It's a ferry.
Pardon?
It's a ferry there.
Yeah, it's a ferry. It's the biggest, or it's the last uh, steamship going across that burns coal.
Oh, okay.
And there used to be like 15 or 20 of these back in the day, but
Mhm.
the government's only let them keep one.
Ah,
So this is a painterly style, and
yeah,
just to kind of enjoyed the textures and you know
yeah, it's really nice. It kind of reminds me of two landmarks in Chicago, because you have the lighthouse at the cut when you're leaving the main harbor downtown. And then about 7 miles out, you've got these intakes for the water, fresh water supply, and they look very much like this ship.
huh,
Kind of neat.
that's a weird comparison, but
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so when I first glanced at it, I went, wow, how did he get that so close to the lighthouse? It's way out there. Then I realized it was a ferry. Well, that's a nice rendition. I like what's happening in the clouds a lot. Okay.
okay, so this is Delos, Greece. This was last summer. I went, and my wife and I went, and so this is it's basically uninhabited, this island. At
Mm.
one time, back in the Greek time, it was, a really well trafficked area, but only for the gods.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I wonder if well, you've got it kind of in the pastel vein. I'm guessing that's on purpose. I'm thinking
Yeah.
just, yeah. Yeah, maybe just selectively snapping some of this foreground up a little bit. I don't, maybe just the pillars, just to make them a little more prominent.
Mm-hmm.
Just a thought. But yeah,
Okay.
I like the softness of it though. So
Yeah.
not too much, just a little bit.
Yeah. So this is, just a still life. I thought I'd give my 2 cents in on the studio.
Mhm. Yeah, could be a greeting card. Or
Mhm.
sticker. Yeah, nice. Yeah, the painterly effect's nice.
Very nice.
Yep. Right, just knock this little teeny light here out the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, I'd say you're good to go.
And this is a different lighthouse.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I
Oh,
forget what I did with that.
yeah, I wanted to show you a trick because I see you're still getting dirt on your sensors.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a pretty easy way to knock it out now. Do you use Lightroom or or just Photoshop or which, whoops, what happened there?
No, I use on one, but
Oh, okay,
not many people do.
yeah. So in Camera Raw or Lightroom, there's kind of a nice thing for that.
I think they've got it too.
Yeah, okay, good. But yeah, if you go into the healing tool, there's a thing called visualize spots. And you can see them all,
Hmm.
and then you just get a brush and take the size down to what'll work, and you can just click on them
Yeah,
and away they go. Yeah, there you go. And then
very
when
good.
you turn that off, they're gone. So,
About that.
yeah, so that's before and after. And the neat thing about this in Lightroom is if you get a whole sequence and you see these spots, you can do it on one and then select them all and synchronize them, and just synchronize the healing brush part. And it'll do all of them for you. You don't have to do them individually. It'll
Yeah.
just copy it over to all of them, and you're good to go before you even do
Okay.
adjustments.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you ever get into Lightroom, that'll be
What
helpful.
is that? Is it dirt on his lens?
It's in the sensor.
Yeah.
So when you change lenses, and especially if you're outside, yeah, stuff gets on the sensor. Some of the newer cameras, or at least the Canons that, if you shut them off before you take your lens off, it'll close the shutter over the sensor, which will help keep some of the dust off, which is kind of nice. I don't know if Nikon or Sony's doing that yet on their new ones, but yeah, it's a good idea. Anyway, cool. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Good work, James.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
I miss anybody? Yeah, Jim Murphy. Okay.
So I got finding some street photography today and then a couple of, overcooked that one a little bit, but yeah, I just put a bunch of textures and stuff in there. This was in Guatemala when I was recently in Guatemala. It's just a
Mhm,
street photo I took of this Mayan woman,
mhm.
turned it to black and white. Added some textures.
Yeah. I kind of like it. Almost looks like rough clay, like a little sculpture or something. Yeah, it works out nice. Cool.
Okay, so this was, recent SpaceX, rocket launch. And coming out of the west, so I'm up at, Madera Canyon looking back toward, that's Green Valley, the lights of Green Valley, and then the hills behind Green Valley there, so. You can kind of see where it came from, and this is a 15-second exposure, so. I actually had
You
two
can
cameras
you
and
can
two tripods, and I was doing different things with them, going back and forth. And I actually thought I was gonna light paint those brush in the front, but things were happening too fast, so I didn't do that. So they kind of annoy me at this point, but the streak is 15 seconds.
Mhm. So that's moved quite a bit. Yeah.
What, Jim, this is re-entry of a rocket?
No, it's entry, takeoff, it's departing from, it departed from,
Vandenberg.
Vandenberg,
Yeah.
which is, from where I was standing is bearing 283, but it didn't come up there because it's, there's those mountains, so basically due west is where it came up.
So what time of day is it?
Well, this was like the launch was at 7:25. Now the picture was slightly later, and the rocket was visible for approximately 5 minutes from horizon to horizon. So you have about a 5-minute window to take your pictures. If I did it over the shots that I would have done on the horizon would be about 300 millimeter telephoto or 400 millimeter telephoto because it was, so far away. This particular one's like a 75 millimeter,
Mhm.
ISO 50.
ISO 50.
Yeah, ISO 50 because the long exposure I didn't want to blow out.
Jim, what are you using for a camera?
I have two Sonys. I have a Sony A7R5 and a Sony A7R4.
So A7R4, 4 and 5, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice camera.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. I'm wondering if you couldn't bring this down a little bit to give it a little more drama too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, so is that a composite then, or,
No, that's just a 15-second exposure. It's a time.
but the last part you said, the straight part was?
Well, see up there to the left where you
Yeah.
see the street?
Yeah.
That would have been, the back of the rocket
Oh, okay.
where the flames were coming out.
Yeah, so from here to here, yeah,
That'd be 15 seconds.
yeah. I think what's confusing you is all this here. That stays up in the sky. Yeah, in fact, even after it's gone, you'll still see it. It's kind of like trails from an airplane, but on steroids.
Yeah, a lot of pollution, I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, so I don't know, let's just play around a little bit here. Let's just maybe take the highlights down and then bring the whites back up a little bit. Yeah, and then you already kind of plugged up in the blacks, but maybe you don't care about that. There's not much detail anyway, so maybe you want to kind of go silhouette. Do something like that. And not care so much about the blacks crushing, down on the bottom and kind of leave the lights and so forth.
Yeah, I like that. I'd probably bring a little more purple into the bottom.
Yeah,
Magentas or something like that.
yeah, you can certainly do that easy enough. I mean, just get yourself a brush here and, paint this area. And then go in and you do a number of things. Yeah, you could kind of add some magenta and maybe a little blue in your color temperature. You can kick your saturation up a little bit. Yeah, something like that. So it's getting a little more, maybe a little too much blue there. Okay. So basically that's what you're looking at. All right. Yeah, it's pretty straight line there. Amazing. All right. Cancel that. Oh, I can close it. Okay.
Because it's a time exposure, there's not much detail in vapor trail, but.
Right.
On the other one, you see a little more detail.
Mhm.
It's a kind of a street photography thing that's got on the guitar. So the problem I had with this photo, the thing that bugged me a little bit, is something I never do is use the blur brush.
Mhm.
That blue line up in the right corner bothers me.
Yeah,
It's too sharp and,
yeah.
I played with the blur brush, but I don't know, somehow I just wasn't getting the result I wanted.
Did you try that blur background that they have in the Lightroom or?
No, I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
I usually try to make my photos clearer, not blurry. so
Yeah,
I just
well,
don't use that much.
yeah, well, this one's kind of neat,
Okay.
because it does, I think I have to go into beta. All right, let's go to camera raw, which is equivalent to Lightroom, and so in here, lens blur.
Oh, lens blur, okay.
Yeah, it's early access. They're warning you it's not quite ready for prime time, but it's working pretty well. So you hit apply and you let it kind of do its thing.
So it's just automatic.
No, you got all these kinds of things going. When this little guy up here is finished, see, you got all these things. You got bokeh choices. If there's little highlights for bokeh, you have an amount, so you can go like really, really blurry or not so much.
Oh, that's pretty easy. I like that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like auto masking,
Uh-huh.
and say you wanted to soften this up too, you've got a number of things you can do. You've got this range here, so as you move it, you can decide what you want, soft or sharp. And doesn't give you much on this one, but sometimes that'll help. The other thing is you've got two tools here. So you've got focus, so like if the top of his head got soft and you didn't want it to, you could go back and paint that out, paint it back. But on this case, maybe you want to make this stuff blurrier, you can just come up here and start painting it out. Bigger person. Nope, not that big. There we go. And then you can change the amount there. Doesn't seem like it's doing much. Anyway, that'll give you the idea how to do it.
Another tool.
Yep, that works really well. I'm guessing it's gonna work even better. It's using AI basically and auto masking. And then it's simulating a depth map like you would get off an iPhone or something where it actually gives you that information. Yeah, so it's pretty neat.
What was the name of that again? That
Lens blur.
lens blur.
Yeah. Yeah. Oops, I skipped one there.
This was just another street photo of this guy. I thought it was kind of interesting. The light was kind of hitting his face. A little bit hot on the cheek there. But it's just a little street shot that I took and cropped it up a little bit. I would have liked to left the front of his head on a little bit more, but there was a woman right there ruining the shot.
Generative fill. Now you can crop the way you want. Or a lot of cloning back in the old days.
Wow.
Okay, this is up over elephant head, and you can see here, and this is 0.6 of a second and ISO 5000. So the other one was ISO 50, and this is ISO 5000. This was on auto ISO, I believe. And so I got the ISO 5000. And only thing I really did.
Shutter speed, f-stop again.
Yeah, the f-stop was 7.1 and the shutter speed was 0.6 seconds. And the only thing I did in this was I brought the stars up a little bit, and then that vapor trail there in the middle, I brought some detail out in that.
Yeah, up through here.
Excellent shot.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Good composition.
Yeah, that worked out real nice.
So whereabouts in the Deer Canyon?
Well, down Proctor parking lot,
Okay,
the first thing you come to.
right.
Yeah, there was 5 or 6 cars there, people watching. I was the only one taking photos, but there were 5 or 6 cars.
Nice.
So was it, obviously it was climbing, so was it right on time for you or?
Yeah,
Yeah, so,
they had a delay. I think it was supposed to launch the day before, but they scrubbed.
yeah, they scrubbed the day before and then they gave a window like 7:30 to 11 at night.
Their phones are on 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, you know.
Well, I was trying to watch on the phone and it wouldn't update,
Oh.
you know, and then all of a sudden they were showing the back end of the rocket and I'm still setting up my tripod. So I ended up hand holding and turning the ISO to auto, which went all the way up to the top. I think it was 56,000 or something crazy. I'll show you those. But yeah, kind of scurry in there. Yeah, I actually should have gone with you. I left earlier, but yeah, didn't plan on it as well as I should have. So back in Japan, I'm just showing kind of my, I guess, more tight shots of foliage and other things. Since we've seen a lot of the houses and people and so forth. This was just in a botanical park in Tokyo, and I there was a black wall behind it, maybe about 30 feet away, and it just was really stark, so I just like what was going on there. And this was on a seashore, and I really love the way it eroded the rock.
Sandstone.
Yeah. And some kelp and seaweed. And another pond shot.
Rain.
Yep. I was thinking of taking out this leaf. I don't know, does that bother you guys?
A little bit.
Yeah, okay.
You put a red frog in the middle of the street. I think that's.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, just one of the rivers. Longer exposure. I don't know. Maybe a 1/8 or a 15th. This was handheld too. I didn't bring a tripod there. I just really like the way the growth around this rock tied in, but it needed something, so I had a little
What did you
Chinese-
add to it?
yeah, that little Chinese lantern plant
Oh,
there.
you placed it on the.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
well, it's perfect.
Yeah. We're just kind of moving that around.
Cocktail.
Exactly. Yeah, the cherry. There we go.
Oh,
And it's just really teeny, nice little leaves in a kind of stagnant pond area.
mm,
And I like this leaf. It almost looked like a hand, but it has so many fingers on it. Yeah,
that's a good one.
yeah, it's kind of fun.
Nice.
And
Sandy,
just,
do you put any art filters on?
no, I shoot everything raw,
That's straight.
straight raw, and then I manipulate it afterwards.
Oh,
Yeah, I always do everything in post now. Yeah, it was kind of like a lava rock, yeah. I'm getting toward the end of the day. And this is, I just love their joinery. This is a little rough item, you know. The way they tie things together.
Hmm.
Just a pair of old sandals. And the sandals are kind of cool, actually.
What kind of wood it is?
Yeah, they're made of like rice husks. There's another variation. Different sandals. Those are more for colder weather. Couldn't imagine wearing that in the snow. There's my rocket shot. Yeah,
You can see the booster falling away there.
yeah, yeah, there's. The booster goes back and lands on a drone ship. Yeah,
I think somebody told me it was land by La Paz, Mexico. the
Yeah.
booster.
yeah.
Yeah, isn't there two boosters, no? Just the one?
Well, that's the first stage, and then that's it continuing, yeah. So I think, yeah, I was at 7.1 as well, and I think I was at probably a 250th handheld and ISO up as far as it would go. And I still had to bring it up just a little bit. So I used the noise filter, the denoise in Lightroom, which was amazing because it looked like pointillism when I went to 100%. It was just, wow, real noisy. So, yeah. And then that's the eclipse the other morning.
Wow.
That's a lot of fun.
So what were your settings on this one?
Oh, on the eclipse, well, I had one of those solar filters on the front. It was like a gelatin filter, so I just cut it out and put it on the lens hood. And just taped it over it. And I was probably about, well, it was F16 because I had a 2X teleconverter on there. And that F16 is the lowest, or the widest open it'll go, with that on it. That's my 100 to 500. So basically I took it to 1,000 millimeters. And then I still had to crop in a bit. I
So
think
it's-
I was probably around anywhere from 125 to 60th, and sometimes as high as 250th. It was on a tripod. The neatest thing was, since the thing's always all the way up this way, it's hard to get underneath with the tripod. So I took the, folded out the viewfinder
Yeah.
and turned it. And you get it, after a while, you learn that you put it in the lower corner and then watch it come across, then you readjust again. But it's really neat watching how fast it moves across the viewfinder.
So the cloud cover that we had there didn't affect too much?
You can see a little bit of it in here, but it was so bright. Yeah, it kind of went right through it. Yep. So that's my stuff for the week. All right. So we stop sharing and kill the recording here.